Okay, all right. So, one of the most important things you can do when you are building an app or programming or coding or whatever you want to call it, one of the most important things you have to do is always be testing. And after I finished the last recording, I did my testing, and of course it didn't work. So, I've been looking around trying to figure out what exactly is the problem. So let me take a quick peek here. So if I run Flutter run, this will attempt to obviously put the app onto my iPhone simulator and run it. So it normally takes about 30 seconds, at least on my computer, to boot up, but we're going to run into a problem here. So it's got a whole bunch of errors. Look at all the problems. So many problems. So I did some research and I found a few issues that if you're running a Flutter app and you want to run Firestore and Firebase, you have to ignore their instructions and use different instructions. So we're going to take the Firebase out of our app delegate program, our app delegate file, which is in iOS runner. And that's that file. We'll get rid of that. And then pod file. This is where things get silly. If you want to run Flutter and have it talk to Firebase, what you need to do is delete your pod file and let Flutter build its own. And that sort of makes sense. But the default one that Firebase tells you to install has nothing to do with what you should be doing. So you delete that guy, and then you click onto this part of the screen, Flutter run again. Now, what we have up here is some stuff we may get to a little bit later. But for now, it's recreated the pod file, and if we have a look, it looks nothing like the one we had before. Look at all this fun stuff. Quite a lot. Now you'll see right now that this running pod install is taking quite a long time. This is a known problem, and if you search on either Stack Overflow or GitHub for this problem, it will make a recommendation. What is that recommendation, you say? Well, let me pull that up for you. Here we go. Improve iOS build times. So what it's suggesting is you put this into the pod file that it has generated for you, and it will download a precompiled version. Now, of course, there's always a newer version available. So we pop over to the link, and it's currently suggesting we hit the tag of 7.4. So we'll copy this guy. And we will put him in here. That might be the right spot. So we'll cancel out of this. We'll try again. Do I have it in the right spot? Let's find out. Yeah, it's inside target runner. So this will download a big version. Oh. And it's complaining. What else is new? So it's wanting version 7.3, we've got 7.4. So let's drop this to 7.3. And what else is it complaining? It was saying it didn't have a default version or something like that. Automatically assigning version 10. Okay, platform for 10 inside pod file. Okay, don't know why this is commented out. 10 it is. Let me try again. I've said this a couple of times before, but I don't know whether it made it to a saved video. Make sure you're always running a smaller iPhone than you want to be running regularly, and an older one than you possibly can as well. Basically, it's easier to scale things up than it is to scale things down. And if you have a small phone that you're developing on, you can be assured that it'll look better at larger resolutions. So it hasn't complained yet. That's always a good sign. Ooh, getting closer. You feeling lucky, everybody? Oh, yay, we finally got it running. All right, so we'll just click the button, make sure everything is going. Okay, congratulations. We now have a working iOS installation. So what did we do to make sure that this worked? Number one, we deleted the pod file that we created with pod init in the last episode. And we did Flutter run to create this version of it. Then we uncommented the platform iOS. And we also added a precompiled pod from GitHub. So we now have working iOS, and we also have a working Android version of this. In fact, here, I'll throw this up for you quickly. So what we do is we click on the emulator thing here. We will start our Pixel XL. And we will bring it over onto the screen so you can see it. And actually, since we've got both of them right now, we can run the device all just to show you how that works. So Flutter run -D for device all. And then we can run on both systems at the same time to make sure things are working. So we will be doing this later in the series when we're showing multi-device functionality. But for now, I'll go back to the single one after we just prove that everything is working on both devices. So you'll see we got things talking about Gradle. And when you're looking at lines that are talking about Gradle, they're talking about the Android one. We got little red lines. Uses or overrides a deprecated API. I can't handle anything. I can't change anything about that. So, all right, we have Android, and we have iOS. There it is. Okay, finally, we now have cross-platform working for our development environment. Let's take a break here, and in the next episode, we'll actually get moving with something that's going to move us forward. So talk to you in the next one. Bye-bye.